Well, I'm Father George Salzman of the Harvard Catholic Center at St. Paul's Church. When you look around, it looks like a little Italian city. And the reason it looks like a little Italian city is because it was copied from one. There was a fellow who designed the church. The architect got the highest award at the Harvard School of Design, the Grad School of Design. With the money, he traveled in Europe and fell in love with the finest Romanesque church in the north of Italy, which is in Verona, which is San Zeno. The tower is a copy of a tower from downtown Verona, the Lambert Tower, but the front, the facade, is a copy of San Zeno. I used to say it's an echo because I know how there's a few changes from it and people nitpick, but I don't worry about it anymore because 4 months ago I was shaking hands at Mass and behind me people were shouting in Italian, "They stole our church, they stole our church." And I turned around, here were these Italians getting out of a cab, pointing at our facade, pointing at the facade of this church and shouting, "They stole our church, you stole our church." And they were from Verona, and they were from San Zeno. What better proof that this is really a good copy of San Zeno in Verona? In the modern building that's added on for our parish center and our student center, in the choir school, have you ever noticed how there's a chapel sticking out? We'd like to go into that chapel and take a look right now, because it's a chapel that's rather rare in the church, a chapel of the women doctors of the church. So we're heading now. It's good for us to think about our choir school and the parish, and also say thanks to you for all your support of all three parts of this. I wanted you to notice the label above, the Chapel of the Women Doctors of the Church, and also to notice the pen and the book representative of the works, their works. And then we're also grateful, as we're grateful to you now, you people supporting us while churches are closed, these great donors of ours, from the Campbells, the Kramers, and on, who've given for the redecoration of the chapel. Years ago, what happened was, when I first got here, there was we put up plaques, very simple plaques of the women doctors of the church, and there was a wake here, and Bishop Bowles John Bowles, Father Bowles, had just left as pastor to become bishop. And he came back for a wake. When they asked me, what should we say in the paper for the wake? And I said, tell them it's the Chapel of the Women Doctors of the Church. And Father Bowles came to the funeral the next day, and he said, where is the Chapel of the Women Doctors of the Church? We don't have one. And he would know better than anyone because he built the place and he was the pastor. I said, oh, John, we have one now. We have one now. Well, we really didn't have one until Father Kelly came. And Father Kelly got these marvelous icons, completely fixed the place up for decorating it. So now we really have a Chapel of the Women Doctors of the Church, thanks to him and Chip's Piatti's advice and these donors from the class of 2018 of Harvard College. So if we can take a look here are the doctors. There's St. Therese of Lisieux, St. Hildegard of Bingen, St. Therese of Lisieux. Of course, here we have the altar. We'll have Mass on video soon, shortly live, the Tabernacle, and then St. Catherine of Siena, and then Our Lady's Seat of Wisdom. I'd like to mention something about, before we go to St. Catherine of Siena. In the Catechism of the Catholic Church, there's 4 parts. The third part's about the moral life. And that's organized according to the commandments, 1 to 10. But there's a section beforehand on fundamental moral. And in there's a section that's utterly characteristic of being a Catholic, and that's concern for others, the common good. And St. John Paul II put in a section on solidarity. Now, some people write that off and say solidarity is just a union. Well, that's not a bad start at all. If you think of all that union did, and you think of what unions have done, and how important that. And in there's a quote from Catherine of Siena in her dialogues with God, quoting the Lord's words to her, which are as follows. God says, I never give all the virtues to any one person. I give faith to this person and charity to that one. I give courage to this one and humility to another, so that you will all need each other. So that you will all need each other. Isn't that profound? At a time like this, with the coronavirus crisis, we all have a really lively sense of that. And then she goes on to say, and so you will be my ministers in helping each other. As we think about that now, we have a lively sense, I think, of the doctors and nurses putting their own lives at risk in terms of tending to patients. And we all have a mighty prayer and hope that they'll all get the masks and other material they need to treat people and to keep themselves safe. That's our prayer and solidarity with them. And then last of all, Father Kelly put these quotes of the doctors each on the wall to remind us, this is a lovely one we could perhaps say together. Okay, St. Catherine of Siena, be who God meant you to be, and you will set the world on fire. Good luck on discerning, that's what St. Francis of Sales would say, the virtue you need for your own state in life, and be sure to set the world on fire. May God be blessed. God love you. We'd love to hear how you're doing. We love you very much. Please tell me, tell any of us how you're doing. We'd love to hear that. God bless you.